Welcome to the latest edition of Futbol Americas right here on ESPN alongside Herculez, Shaka, Hislop. I am Mauricio Pedrosa. Welcome, gentlemen. It's a very special edition. For the very first time ever, Shaka's Trophic will air on Futbol Americas. Why are you laughing? Are you nervous?
It's monumental,
that's
Mal.
a nervous laugh.
No, it's not. It's monumental.
It's monumental. That's quite a moment.
Just remember what you've done today.
And also a couple of U.S. stars making the move to the Premier League. We'll discuss, but we will get things started with Inter Miami, specifically with Lionel Messi. As we know, his dad passed away, and Messi shared this heartfelt message to his dad on social media. Messi wrote a very, very thoughtful, a very deep, emotional message to his dad. I don't know what I'm going to do without you. I don't know how to go on. I only played football, and now I have quite a few doubts about whether I'll keep doing it for much longer. And this is clearly a very emotional moment for Messi, his family, but we all knew about the connection Messi and his dad, how special it was. But honestly, I was not expecting Messi posting this very, very personal letter to his dad. And he points to maybe considering his future in the sport. What do you make of it, Herc?
I think it's natural when we talk about losing a loved one, when we talk about thinking about your own mortality, what's important in your life, how much time you have. You start questioning maybe things that you're doing and how much longer you can keep doing them for. Maybe you question why you were doing them even to begin with. It's clear that he doesn't put pen and paper, in this case the post, if it's not weighing on him. And the fact that it even entered his orbit, that universe, brings many of us to the realization that Messi's not going to be forever. And that if he continues to play till the end of this season, 2 more years, or till next World Cup, it's a very personal decision that you have to respect. And you just have to go out there and appreciate and enjoy him while you can. Because the way that my father spoke about Pelé, speaks about Pelé, spoke about Maradona, I can't fully grasp it because I didn't watch it. One day, that's the way we are going to talk about Lionel Messi, the rivalry with Cristiano Ronaldo, how epic that was. The next generation won't fully understand it. We will, and we have to appreciate it because it's coming to an end.
It wouldn't be the first time that a star player, and nobody is the star that Lionel Messi is, but when something like this happens and puts in perspective not only your personal life, but in this case, his professional career. I don't know, Shaq, the way it hit you in terms of how Messi let us in that moment and questioning his future in the sport because his dad is no longer a part of his life.
Yeah, first of all, let me just say, Lionel Messi has earned the right to walk away from this game whenever he chooses. He could leave in the middle of a game if he so decides, and nobody should question that. The thing that hit me most about this post, about Lionel Messi's reaction, is at times we see Lionel Messi as a player. We see the things he does on the pitch with the ball, and we assign almost a superhuman quality to him, to his talents. Then you see messages like this, and you recognize the human behind it all. That we are still, as for all the praise we throw at Lionel Messi's feet, justifiably so, he is still somebody's son. We've spoken about his attachment to his father and the role that his father played in the early days of his own career. And to see it, dare I say, come full circle, reminds us that we are talking about a human being. At the same time, and for all the praise that we heap at Lionel's feet, you almost feel like you're happy that his father got to witness this much of it as he did. The best years of his footballing career, given the role that he played. My greatest takeaway is Lionel Messi is human after all.
The other thing that hit me hard, if I'm being very honest, is to Shaq's point, we see these players and we think they're superhumans. They are immune to everything. Nothing can really hurt them because we see them on the field and players like Messi, nothing can stop them, right? And we were wondering, 39 years of age, he's won it all. He's dominated the sport. He will be remembered by many as the greatest to ever do it. Why is he still doing it? Sometimes we wonder, right? Why is he still, what motivates him to still play the sport? The moment when he shares that he learned that his dad was in critical condition right before the start of the World Cup, and it became his mission to extend Argentina's presence in the World Cup as long as possible, not for the sake of winning it, but just so that his dad would have another chance to see him play live. That really brought me to tears when I first read that, because that reminded me, as you said, of this is exactly why he keeps doing it. Because it matters to him, yes, but it matters to the people that believed in him since he was a young kid. And sometimes I'm not sure, Herc, if we value that when we speak about the greatness of these players.
Not just the greatness of a player.
The person.
Yeah, you don't need to have a player like Lionel Messi to realize that sometimes people don't value other people. And in this world we live in today where one feels they are anonymous because of this thing right here, the cell phone, little tablet. You get in there and you type whatever you want and you think you put it out into the world and it doesn't hit somebody. You think it doesn't matter if I say something negative about this person because that's why he's there. That's why he gets the millions of dollars. That's why he has all these, like, he should be immune to it. And you realize this is a person. And Lionel Messi, to Shaq's point and to your point, he's looking to extend the run of Argentina and hope that his father gets well enough to go see him. And I'm putting myself in Messi's head for a second, the rationale behind, I can help him. I can give him something to fight for. And I can't presume to think or even start of where his head was during a World Cup. But you can see the emotion he played with in that World Cup. And one would say, well, it's because that's Argentina and that's the way they live the game. No, there's something there. There's something there. You can see Messi when he comes back into this game. There's also something not there, When you play this game, and we spoke about it before, Mao, oftentimes footballers, they play through the worst of moments in their personal life because it's an escape. It's the only time that I'm in somewhere and I can get away and I don't think about anything. I'm just in the game. It's just me, the ball, my teammates. I'm in the game. I'm not thinking about my problems. I'm not thinking about my love life. I'm not thinking about anything. It's just the game. And when he comes back and he plays against Leon, he comes in the second half, it didn't feel like the Messi. Maybe it's the setting. Maybe it's the fatigue, the jet lag, and maybe it's the somber moment of laying your father to rest and coming here and you got to play Leagues Cup in a midweek and it just doesn't feel right, but you can see that it just wasn't quite Messi. Sometimes people just, they don't realize that your heroes are people as well.
I just want to say, I think moments like this are reminders. And if I can offer some kind of defense to people like us who sit around desks and even those who sit behind devices, a lot of the times these footballers are very one-dimensional beings to us. We see them with a shirt on that matches 10 other shirts on the park. We judge them by what happens over the course of 90 minutes, and then we do it all again next weekend or whenever it is. And moments like this are reminders that not just Lionel Messi, every single player, there is a story. Whether it's you woke up on the wrong side of the bed that morning, what things that may be going on in your personal life with your father or your parents or your kids or your spouse, whatever it may be, that all have an impact on the 90 minutes of their lives in that day that we get to share. And we are asked, we are paid to make judgments on that without knowing a lot of that backstory. At the same time, though, not knowing that backstory, I also think it's fine. As a player, I welcome the opportunity to step on a football field and leave what was happening in my personal life behind. Just separate the two. I have played games when I have had children in the hospital, and it was a welcome distraction from that reality. So there's this kind of co-mingling of how we see them, how they allow us to see them, and a need for that separation for both us and for them. But when these moments hit like this, with a player like Lionel Messi that is as visible as he is to everybody, it's a reminder that all these players are so multidimensional in ways that we cannot imagine, though we are asked to comment on just one.
Listen, just very quickly before we move on. This is the way we've been trained since we were kids.
Yeah.
You know, and after my professional career, it's brought me lots of problems in the real world because that's not the way the real world works. But we are trained to check your problems at the door. Don't bring them onto the field. You know, as a forward, you're trained, this cannot bother you. You have to concentrate on what's coming next. And sometimes in the real world, that's not what happens.
Let's take a look at those Leagues Cup highlights. Lionel Messi returning from his trip to Argentina to honor his dad, starting the game on the bench. Inter Miami facing León. Inter Miami had a really tough time even trying to qualify for the next round. They needed to win a little bit more than that, but it all started well for Inter Miami, Herc.
It's a good ball across my face, and it's a good finish. You know, he's going to get his Pinter, Daniel Pinter is going to get another start, and he's going to get another goal, the young man.
Messi will come on for the second half. 50th minute, Daniel Arcila all by himself on an island and equalizes the game, Shaq.
And it's a really nice finish. Draws defender to him, let square ball, let run across your body. And it's just a comfortable pass into the back of the net.
Quick response by Inter Miami after a second touch inside the box. It's Yannick Bright. Yeah. Miami leading again.
That's a very good finish by Yannick Bright. He doesn't get a lot of goals, but what a golazo. Campanita crossbar and in.
The game was crazy. Just 3 minutes later, take a look at the move by Didier Cambindo and a really good save by Rocco Novo.
It's a great cutback by Cambindo. He thinks he's found the back of the net. Novo has other ideas.
Juan Dominguez bends it, far post. It's all tight, Herc.
Yeah, but this comes off a silly giveaway by Inter Miami across the face of their own goal, and then what do you know? And then this right here, I mean, maybe a shot of an offside, they're going to check it, but no.
And León, who would have said? León will advance to the next round, and Inter Miami are out. 3-2, final score in Miami. There will be another chance for Inter. Lionel Messi with a chance, and it would be saved. Very active, Lionel Messi in the 45-minute second half that he played.
Picks up the rebound, but just doesn't catch it as he would have liked.
All right, so it's 3-2 final. That means that Inter Miami are out in this new format. Best 4 teams by each league advance to the round of 8. Should we consider this a disappointment by Inter Miami, all things considered, without their best player for half of the tournament?
Circumstances are important in what we do. There is context, but the fans, Major League Soccer, won't care about that context. If I may, very quickly, you saw at the end of this game, the players rushing to Lionel Messi for his jersey. It's like, you know, we spoke about this a couple times already in Leagues Cup and MLS play. Just stop. It's Messi doesn't want this. Messi doesn't want you sprinting up to him and asking him for his jersey after any type of regular game. He just lost his father, and the one thing he wants to do is get off the field, and you've got players running up to him worried about a jersey or a picture. It's just, I don't know. It's one of these things that you need to be smarter at. Is it a failure? I think it's a massive failure. It's not a failure for Inter Miami. It's not their fault that they were missing their best center back. He got injured in this game. That they're missing Luis Suarez because he's serving 6-game suspension for spitting on somebody last season. It's not their fault that Tadeo Allende is on crutches, that Berterame is injured. I can keep going down a laundry list of players that aren't there. Lionel Messi had to lay his father to rest, comes on in the second half. He's obviously jet lagged, physically not there. Maybe mentally his head's not in that moment. There is context to all this going on, but it's a failure. It's a failure not for Inter Miami, but it's a failure for Major League Soccer, because in the relevance of selling Leagues Cup going forward, at the heart of everything has to be Lionel Messi. Major League Soccer, Liga MX, Leagues Cup, all have to be desperate to have Messi in this final. CONMEBOL wants Messi in a Copa Libertadores. The World Cup, yes, everybody wants Messi to go as far as he can. Why? Because he sells. And because he sells, which is why it's a failure. It's not a failure on Messi's part. It's not a failure on Inter Miami's part. It's a failure that they're not there because that's what these people want. Leagues Cup and MLS.
We saw the heat map and the stats. 5 shots, 3 on goal, 4 chances created. I mean, Messi did his best. Yeah, he was not in the best form, shape possible physically and mentally. But in the end, Shaq, there are expectations on Inter Miami to be a team that at least makes it past the next round, even without the best Lionel Messi available.
Of course, this is Inter Miami, and from a business angle, this is a monumental failure. This is a miss for the tournament, for MLS. But to Hig's point, there's context around this, but even that does not really kind of satisfy the loss and the business loss for the tournament. Listen, Lionel Messi, I'll keep saying, he's the best player of a generation at the very least. Continues to impact games in a way that nobody else still does, particularly here on this side of the Atlantic. Him missing or him having to carry the emotional burden that he did and not being his best self, even at 39 years old, is a tall ask. And while he did his best, and to Miami did their best given the cards they had available to them, obviously coming up one short, but it will always be and continue to be seen as a disappointment, as a failure on Inter Miami's part.
The very first time we saw Lionel Messi wearing Inter Miami's jersey was during the inaugural edition with this format of Leagues Cup. They won it all. They won that tournament. They made the final.
Free kick.
Correct.
Yeah,
against Cruz Azul. Yeah. They made the final last season. Once Inter Miami is in there, when they're competing, the tournament becomes relevant. Now, thinking big picture here, with all the things and the context regarding and surrounding Inter Miami, could there be a positive in saying, okay, we're out of this, regroup, let's have our players try to be healthy again, let's give Lionel Messi his space to attack the second part, more than that, of Major League Soccer in the best way possible?
I mean, sure. You could make an argument that even with all the limitations that they have, the players that I just mentioned that are missing, the players that got injured, they just had to hold on for a draw and maybe win the penalty kick shootout against Monterrey, but they blew it at the end in the last seconds without Lionel Messi. Just hold down the fort until Messi gets back, and maybe that puts you in a different headspace. Maybe that's a different mentality. Maybe this game goes a different way. You don't know. That said, I think if Hoyos, the head coach of Inter Miami, can get something from this is you can't always depend on Messi, and you have to have a different way of playing. It's the final minute of the game, and you're down a goal. It's 3-2. There's 5 minutes that they've given a lot of time. It's already minute 95 something. Put the ball into the box on a corner kick. They wait until Messi looks up, until Messi decides, you either put it in or you give it to me. Messi says, give it to me, and they give him a short play so he can play the ball across the face on the other side so he can get in from there and look for a cross. There's got to be a different way instead of always depending on Messi. I understand it's very difficult to do when you've got the best player who's ever played the game. But you saw what life without Messi was like. There also needs to be not even a plan B, just a different way of doing things when Messi isn't there to help you.
Yeah, he's 39 years of age. You cannot depend strictly on Lionel Messi saving the day.